Let me ask you something. What would happen if your car broke down tomorrow, or you had a medical emergency? Would you be ready, or would everything come crashing down? Join me on a personal mission to grow my emergency fund from $0 to $1,000 in just 30 days. And along the way, I'll show you exactly how you can do the same, even if you're living paycheck to paycheck. Are you tired of living paycheck to paycheck? Do you want to build a financial safety net to cover unexpected expenses? Growing an emergency fund can be challenging, but with the right strategies, you can speed up the process. In this video, we'll share practical tips and expert advice on how to grow your emergency fund fast so you can achieve financial peace of mind. From creating a budget to cutting expenses and increasing your income, we'll cover it all. Watch until the end to learn how to build a robust emergency fund that will protect you from financial shocks. Let's not sugarcoat it. Starting an emergency fund from scratch feels like trying to climb a mountain in slippers. I remember staring at my bank account balance, $17.42, no savings. Rent due in 11 days. My car making a weird noise, and I thought, what if something actually happens? Most people don't need a lecture about saving. What they need is a path, a practical, step-by-step way out of living on the edge. So I challenged myself. 30 days. Grow $0 into $1,000. No magic, no miracles, just method. This is the real story of how I did it, and how you can too. 1. Why emergency funds matter more than ever. We live in an unpredictable world. One flat tire, one urgent dentist visit, one broken phone, and you're instantly in financial survival mode. The sad reality? Most Americans aren't ready. In 2023, over 57% said they couldn't cover a $1,000 emergency without borrowing money. That means more than half the country is one crisis away from debt. And that's not just stressful, it's dangerous. An emergency fund is not a luxury, it's your buffer, your peace of mind. It's the difference between handling a problem and spiraling into panic. When my car battery died last winter, I didn't cry. Didn't call a friend, didn't swipe a credit card. I paid in cash, walked out, and felt a high I hadn't felt in years, financial control. It wasn't the money, it was what it meant: security, strength, independence. 2. Breaking the paycheck to paycheck cycle. Now, I wasn't always this calm. A few months earlier, I was drowning in small expenses that added up to chaos. I wasn't broke from one bad decision, I was broke from 1,000 tiny ones. DoorDash, $6.99 here. Unused software subscription, $14.99 there. Grocery top-up runs that turned into impulse splurges. Saving money while living paycheck to paycheck feels impossible. Until you realize it's not just a money problem, it's a habit problem. So I went old school. I took a notebook and tracked every dollar for 1 week. Coffee, Uber, a $4 croissant I didn't even finish. Everything. The result? Eye-opening. I found $137 in leaks in just 7 days. Stuff I didn't even miss, let alone need. This is the first rule of breaking the cycle. Get brutally honest with where your money's actually going, because you can't fix what you can't see. 3. The system that helped me save fast. Okay, here's the part everyone asks me about. The how. The strategy, the playbook. It's not fancy, it's not revolutionary, but it works. Step 1. Automate it. The first thing I did was set up a daily transfer of $10 from my checking to a separate savings account. Not $100 once a month, just $10 every single day. Why daily? Because big, infrequent savings feel painful, but tiny, regular ones feel invisible. Over 30 days, that's $300. Boom! Step 2. Make cuts, but smart ones. I didn't go full minimalist. I just paused 2 unused subscriptions, $9.99 and $12.99. Then I swapped my Friday takeout habit for a home-cooked meal. One meal saved me $20. I brewed coffee at home, used public Wi-Fi, and started meal prepping on Sundays. Total saved that month? About $160, and I didn't feel deprived. I felt empowered. Step 3. Use found money. This is a game changer. Any unexpected money went straight into the emergency fund. Got $200 from a birthday gift? Saved it. Sold an old bike on Facebook Marketplace? Saved it. Took on a weekend dog sitting gig. You guessed it, saved it. It added up faster than I imagined. Within 2 weeks, I'd banked $460. By day 24, I hit $780. And on day 29, I sold a barely used blender and crossed the $1,000 line. It felt surreal. 4. The psychology behind why this works. But here's what surprised me most. Saving became addictive. It wasn't the numbers, it was the mindset shift. I went from I can't afford to save to every dollar saved makes me stronger. Every time I skipped a coffee and watched my balance grow by $4, I felt in control. Every time I said no to a random Amazon purchase and saw my emergency fund inch upward, I felt proud. These little wins rewired my brain. I stopped feeling deprived. I started feeling resourceful. It's like fitness. You don't need a six-pack to feel the benefits. You just need to start showing up for yourself, and the confidence follows. And here's a wild thought. It wasn't about the $1,000. It was about becoming the kind of person who saves $1,000. That mindset, that's worth more than money. 5. Tools and rules to stay on track. Now that the fund is started, the real challenge is staying consistent. Because here's the truth, most people don't fail to start saving, they fail to keep going. Let's talk tools and rules. First, I used a simple budget framework. Nothing fancy. Just the 50-30-20 rule. 50% for needs, rent, bills, food. 30% for wants. Dining out, Netflix, the little things that make life enjoyable. 20% for savings and debt repayment. But when you're just starting out or your income is tight, this can feel unrealistic. So I made my own version, 70-20-10. 70% on the essentials, 20% on wants, 10% goes to savings. Even just saving 10%, that's $100 on a $1,000 income, is progress. If you stick with it, those small chunks turn into serious padding. 6. What not to do. Now let's talk about some traps I nearly fell into and that most people do. Don't try to save whatever's left at the end of the month. There's rarely anything left. Life has a way of spending your money for you. The key is paying yourself first. Even if it's $3 a day, it adds up. And more importantly, it builds the habit. Don't over-restrict. I learned this the hard way. In week 2, I tried to cut everything. No spending, no fun. It backfired. I got frustrated, then overcompensated with a $40 delivery meal I didn't need. Balance matters. You're building a new life, not punishing yourself for the old one. Don't dip into the fun for non-emergencies. This is the most important. Once you start saving, it's tempting to think, well, maybe I can borrow from it for this sale. Or, I'll just take out $50. I'll put it back later. That fund is sacred. Label it in your banking app. Add an emoji, call it only for real emergencies. Because once you violate that rule, it becomes a slippery slope. This isn't just a pile of cash, it's your backup life plan. Treat it like your parachute. 7. What happened after the 30 days? So what happened after I hit that $1,000? I felt different. Not richer, but safer, stronger. I stopped panicking at every unexpected sound in my car. I slept better. I started making decisions based on plans, not fear. And then something even better happened. I didn't want to stop. I turned the emergency fund into a permanent fixture of my finances. I raised the goal to $2,000, then $3,000. Eventually, I set up a 3-month buffer. And you know what the wild part was? It didn't get harder. It got easier. Because the hardest part of saving isn't the math, and it's the mindset. Once you shift from survive to stabilize, your priorities change. You stop chasing instant gratification. You stop trying to treat yourself with things that leave you empty. Instead, you build a life that feels good quietly, peacefully. Join me on a real-life 30-day challenge to grow an emergency fund from $0 to $1,000. Even on a tight budget, discover the exact steps I took, including automation, smart cuts, and using found money to fast-track savings. Whether you're new to budgeting or want to break free from paycheck to paycheck living, this video will give you the tools, motivation, and real-life strategies to protect your financial future. Got your own tips for saving fast? Share them in the comments. Subscribe for more personal finance strategies, money habits, and saving hacks.